Welcome or welcome back to my channel, Healing with Kearra. So today we're taking a look into what is their karma. So I'm going to keep it kind of more open-ended and then just see like what comes up for each pile, like what the situation could entail. So yeah, we have pile 1, the Tarot of Little Secrets, and this little star. Pile 2, the Slow Tarot, and this little metal looking rock. And pile 3, the Ethereal Visions Tarot Luna edition with this little cinnamon stone. So you can pause the video. You need a little bit of time to make a selection. We're gonna go ahead. So, pile 1. The Star and the Tarot of Little Secrets. Real quick, I'm feeling called to use the 8th house to get some zodiac signs. Okay, so we have the Queen of Water and Water. That popped out right away. So you could be a water sign, or this could be in regards to a water sign. We have the Two of Earth, Jupiter in Capricorn. So earth signs and Capricorn specifically, and then water signs heavily here in this pile. I'm picking up on an energy of like, because someone kind of went back and forth. So Capricorn or earth sign could have been kind of like going back and forth here. And we also have Jupiter, and Jupiter recently went into retrograde. So a lot of planets are starting to go direct at this point, but Jupiter just recently went into retrograde. So you could have had a person in your life who was kind of like back and forth on you. Like they had a hard time deciding on you or fully choosing you. They were like up in the air, back and forth, went back and forth. Couldn't make a solid decision, couldn't decide whether to like step out of the friend zone or to make it more, like never giving you clarity on what you were, what your status was. Like sometimes it was friends, sometimes it was more. They couldn't make a solid commitment. It's like they didn't know what they really wanted. So then you didn't know what you were, or where the lines were, or you just like really needed them to make up their mind or make a choice or to like choose you. They could have been really focused on work and like their finances. Um, so it's like because they couldn't make a choice on whether or not they should put themselves out there or be vulnerable or kind of like choose you, you feel as though they didn't see your worth in the situation. And so it's like you're kind of like taking your power back taking your feelings back, taking your worth back, like realizing how powerful you are, realizing your worth, realizing your true nature. It's like you're eliminating yourself from this person's choice because they like took too long, or yeah, they like let time run out, or they stalled, or they played games for too long, they went back and forth, they made you feel like disrespected or second choice, or like weren't serious about you, or like they didn't feel the same way as you, or they didn't take your feelings seriously or your sensitivity seriously. So yeah, you're in this energy of like, yeah, removing yourself from the equation. You're no longer a choice, eliminating yourself as an option, by just taking your power back and being the one to choose yourself in the situation. It's like you realize that you have a lot of like sensitivity, vulnerability, a lot of emotions to give someone. And so you need to protect that and honor that and almost kind of like put that on a pedestal within yourself in order to attract someone who's going to like be really delicate with your heart, be willing to like be on your level and communicate with the same like vulnerability and sensitivity as you, rather than like ignoring you sometimes, or going back and forth, taking a long time to respond, like never making like solid decisions. There's something about, it's like the way this other person communicated would give you a lot of anxiety. It was just like kind of difficult for you um, to deal with or manage. It's like they knew this and they were aware of this, and they would almost like use your emotions against you, and like purposely be withholding, or yeah, like there's almost this weird energy of like trying to teach you like a lesson by withholding certain stuff from you. But it's like it's okay that you were just like a sensitive person, or that you're a little bit different. Like you deserve someone who's still going to be open, authentic, communicate, like not struggle to make a choice or a decision. So yeah, I'm picking up like you could be the queen of water here. Yeah, strong water signs. The other person could be the Capricorn, so they could be kind of like rigid in some way. Not saying all Capricorns are, but in this case, there's something about like the earth energy to like to a fault. Or they could kind of like capitalize on having a sense of power over others, and so they were purposely holding back on making a solid choice, or like really choosing you, or like reaffirming the way that you feel in some way, for their own like gain or power over you. um, so you started to realize it was like they were never really going to come around or make a decision. This like time kind of ran out. You had to like set a boundary. So that could be kind of what's going on this pile. So we have the Queen of Wands in the reverse. Yeah, hopefully you were able to see that on camera. Oh. So with the Queen of Wands in the reverse, it's like this. I'm getting this energy of they thought they, okay, we also have the Ace of Swords and the Five of Wands. At the bottom of the deck, we have the Page of Wands and the Nine of Wands. So they thought that they had it all figured out. Something in their life. They thought they had it all figured out, all understood, all dialed in, and then they're being kind of like dethroned in some way or like knocked off their pedestal or knocked off their status or position. It's like they thought they had it all figured out, that it was all clear, everything was all good, they had everything all figured out. And then with the Five of Wands, it's like unexpectedly new competition came in to some sort of endeavor, and now they're being like knocked back down to a position of like a page, whereas before they were like the Queen of Wands, and they had like a lot of protection around them, so even if they weren't always acting in a just or fair way, like even if they were being kind of like hurtful to others at times, they had a lot of like status or power, so a lot of people were drawn to them, or a lot of people like protected them or defended them or looked out for them. It was maybe even like their energy, the way they carried themselves, their confidence. They had really strong boundaries for themselves, and so it was hard to see them in a certain light. And so they eventually could have just gotten kind of cocky, or just again been in this energy of like, I have it all figured out. Like they just kind of thought they were always correct, like this very narrow minded. They saw everything in this like black and white, like this is how I cut through and like operate. And it like worked for them for a while, and they were in this very secure position where like a lot of people were drawn to them. They had a lot of power over like others, in the degree in which others would like open up to them, or come towards them, or they could work in others in order to get other people to like defend them or stand up for them or protect them on some level, like no matter what their actions were behind the scenes, because they had kind of control over how people saw them or perceived them. And yeah, it's like they thought they had it all figured out, but something is kind of like knocking them down here. There's some sort of clarity or truth coming into the situation, or it's like unexpectedly out of nowhere they're getting some sort of competition, or someone is coming in to like swipe something, or to like knock them down a peg, or just like knock them out of position in such a way to where they'll no longer have what they had before, which was people. They're no longer in the same status or position, so now they no longer have people drawn to them or looking to them in a certain way. It's like now they don't have people protecting them in the same ways that they did before, so now they're more vulnerable to competition from the outside being able to come in and shed light or truth on the situation and reflect them in a more clear or transparent light. And that makes it very obvious that they're still at the place of a page. Um, because yeah, they're still very, very like defensive of themselves, and they still have just like a lot to learn and a lot to recover and a lot to grow, if you will. It's like they have a lot to heal from emotionally within themselves. Um, but they haven't really been doing all the work all this time. It's like they've been almost like manipulating other people to do the work because they had so much control over others, or they could have just been like really popular. People were really drawn to them. People naturally opened up to them. People naturally followed after them. So they just got kind of used to that or comfortable with that. And so they were able to like manipulate the way that they appeared or people saw them for so long, that they haven't been doing like the inner work to actually grow to a certain point. And so that's what's making them vulnerable to someone else being able to come in and expose them, or like knock them off or take their position in some way. One. And then two, um this is like revealing, now that they have like new competition in some way, it's revealing that they're like emotionally and spiritually, and like in whatever work or endeavor they feel like really passionate about, they're still at a place of a page, still kind of like healing and recovering from things and growing within themselves. They're not actually in the place that other people had once perceived them to be, or they're not actually like the person that they shown up as the other people kind of perceived them to be previously. they still have like really far to go, or a lot to learn, or a lot to grow, or yeah, to learn, kind of like balance things out. um so yeah, that's kind of like their karma, is they're suddenly having like new competition that is actually like on their level, or is enough to come in and expose some sort of truth, or yeah, reveal. It's like kind of cutting the situation wide open, or splitting it down the middle to reveal some sort of truth underneath. Or it's like this person doesn't actually have the tools within themselves to combat this, or to stand up for themselves, or to come up against this. They're so used to like relying on others to be able to protect them or defend them in some way, but they no longer have that same sense of like control, or they no longer have the same like status or position that they did before to then have that same sense of protection around them, or like they don't have control over others in the same way. So then just themselves coming up against this new competition without anyone else to be able to leverage to like work for them or work against like others, or um then they don't necessarily have what it takes. It's like becoming really obvious that they're still like at this stage and not actually at this stage. They don't quite have what it takes to, again, like combat this or come up against this. And so it's just like really obviously knocking them off their throne, if you will. So we're going to use the Garden of Lucid Daydreams oracle to get more into like what is their karma. Oh, so we have number 46 in the reverse at the bottom. And it's like, no, again, no longer having control over the narrative, no longer having control over the direction that things go in, or how people take things in or perceive them. Um, just like losing that sense of control. We have 0 in the reverse. So this is the garden, right? The Garden of Lucid Daydreams. So with this card in the reverse, it's like they no longer have the same opportunities that they used to have. They used to be able to like spin a narrative or just say whatever, and people would just follow after them or believe them or just take it in and kind of grant them access to whatever, not really question them. But they no longer have that same sense of control over others, or just in general. So they no longer have access to the same spaces that they had access to before. They no longer have the same opportunities that they had before. They're no longer welcome like in certain directions or in certain spaces, because now it's like obvious that they're not ready for that, or they're not like emotionally on that level or to that point, and so they have a lot more work to do or more growth before they can like be on certain levels, enter certain conversations, be in certain spaces, do certain things. So it's like people are just perceiving them differently around them. And it doesn't matter like their level of confidence or how much they try and like smooth talk people, or just like talk the talk. It's like their aura doesn't walk the walk. And so it doesn't like match up to where they're trying to go, or where they're trying to grow, or where they're used to being, right? This is just a small chunk of the Alleymans Tarot. It just felt like there was a card in this pile. Ooh, so we have the Death card. I'm getting this like Grim Reaper type of energy. It's like forcing them to get comfortable with letting certain things go, even if it's really painful. With the red, it's like so maybe very, very uncomfortable to for them to like release certain things, to let certain things go, but it's like change is coming very swiftly, whether like they're ready or prepared or not. Intertwined, lovers. This person feels like an extension of yourself, deeply rooted within your heart. You've had many past lives together and karmic lessons along the way. It is time to come together in a healthy way that brings joy and happiness. So, um, you could have had a lot of past lives with this person, and like in an odd way, this is happening is an opportunity to heal things. Like now that you've taken your power back and removed yourself from the equation, it like opens a space to where if you did come back together in the future, it would be more balanced and even and healthy. Now that this person kind of has had like a reality check to see like that their old ways are no longer going to work out for them anymore, they're going to actually have to put in the work and like learn and grow and develop to a certain point in their life. The Rose Garden, gratitude. Take time out to smell the roses and enjoy the goodness of nature. Honor each day by staying present and remembering gratitude. Gratitude turns everything into enough. So this is kind of fitting. So it's like one way for you to kind of enter the garden yourself is through gratitude. So that's really, really great advice. One oracle card. So we have the Time Master and Eagle. So I'm going to read both of those for you. Time is a construct of the human mind through which life events are seen to flow in a straight line. From past to future, this, however, is an illusion. Time moves in patterns, fractals, sometimes turning like a wheel and other times moving straight as an arrow. Humans see time like a ticking clock, and this image reminds us that there is only so much of it to spend in life, like a kind of currency. At any given moment, you can see time in all its different infinite potential, at once vast and all encompassing, then shrunken and infinite. It all depends on perspective. When the Time Master visits you, he asks the most important question: will you break free from limited cause and effect thinking by moving beyond the linear illusion and welcoming the cyclic quality of time? You find yourself in a moment when the wheel of time turns and you're able to influence the past, thus changing the present and future simultaneously. This is the truest test of the Time Master. You're being invited to take back your power, so let go of the past and choose to step into your life. In this moment, you are all powerful. You are the Time Master. Anything is possible now. Sometimes it appears that you are running out of time. You worry you won't get what you need or what you want. Everything gets stuck like a log jam. This is only in your mind. The time expands and contracts according to your ability to be mindful and observant, fully engaging in your now. It's time to release the story of your past. Equally, it's time to release your needs to know the detail of the future. All the treasure magically reveals itself when you remain relaxed and present to what is directly in front of you and nothing else. Then you realize you have all the time in the world. You will never run out of it. So that makes sense because I was picking up on it's like that's what kind of happened here is this person just ran out of time. You kind of ran out of patience or you stopped really believing that they were going to make a change in the situation, to start, yeah, taking you more seriously, to choose something. I think I literally said it's like their time ran out um, with you in regards to the situation in some way. So, very fitting um, message. Eagle comes from the east, the place of the rising sun, a new beginning. She soars high in the sky, sees the smallest detail with clarity without losing track of the bigger picture, and nests in the high mountains. For Eagle, there are no obstacles, only opportunities. She calls you to ascend, to acquire perspective so you can fly wing to wing with great spirit. Have you become trapped in your daily routine and feel you do not know where to go and what to do next? Have you lost your sense of purpose? Eagle invites you to take a deep breath and spread your wings. When was the last time you opened them? Eagle reminds you that your spirit was born to soar to the heavens. As you contemplate choices, ask yourself: do I want to live in a chicken coop sheltered from life, counting the regular feedings, or do I want to soar like an eagle? If your answer is the latter, then you must accept Eagle's invitation and embrace the courage that will help you choose freedom. It is time to see through the eyes of Eagle. Let your vision of the whole and its parts become laser like and set your priorities straight. What did you come to do in this life? Did you climb up the ladder of financial or social success? Did you come to become a better person, to heal your heart, and to realize your essential self? What is your divine mission here on earth? No more excuses. Of course, you do not have enough time, enough money, or enough sleep. Yet the time is now to fly to your chosen purpose. If you postpone it, you are betraying yourself. Look through the eyes of the eagle and consider every obstacle as an opportunity. Where you set your intention is where you'll end up. Free yourself and live your high destiny. Fly. There's a little bit of contradicting messages. Um, so I just have to use your discernment in regards to how to balance out both energies and um, understanding that there's no rush and you do have all the time in the world, but at the same time, knowing exactly when to seize the moment, to seize something, when to pounce on something, when the moment is right, being like the heron in the river, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Um, so, yeah, it's like using your discernment to figure out how to balance that out and start to kind of figure that out for yourself. So, that's kind of a big thing that you're going through as well as this other person's going through their karma here. So, that is all I have for pile one. So thank you so much if you watched this far into the reading. I really appreciate it. If you would like a more personal reading, you can use the link in the description box. And I hope you have a really great day. Thank you. Okay, pile two had this stone here. We're going to use the 8th house deck to get some zodiac signs and some context on what happened here. So we have the 5 of Earth, Mercury in Taurus. So this person could be a Taurus. It could be someone who ghosted you, isolated you away from them, left you out in the cold, left you behind, it's like they were breadcrumbing you until they eventually like ghosted you. They were never giving you enough or never really saw your worth, but then eventually they just like totally bailed, totally ghosted you. We have Neptune. So this is the Hanged Man. It's like they left you out in the cold, left you behind, ghosted you, like I heard before. They like isolated you away from them in some way. So they specifically made it to where like you can't get in contact with them or you can't reach out to them. So it's like you have no choice but to surrender to the situation. So like the Neptune energy is like coming from you here. It's like you're trying to like spiritually understand what's going on and um like connect to something deeper in order to understand and find like a deeper meaning in the situation, to find like some sense of justification, because it's like there's nothing else you can do about it. So it feels kind of like unfair, but it's like you have no choice but to just surrender to it or just like let it be or let it happen, because it's like based off the choices that this person made. It's like you feel as though you don't have a lot of control in the situation, but because there's the lotus in the background, yep, and Jupiter, Wheel of Fortune underneath. Okay, because I heard like things are gonna flip. So it's like this person like abandoned you or left you out in the cold and left you in a position where you had no choice but to surrender to like the consequences or the fallout in regards to their actions. But in you, there's like nothing you could do about it. So you just had to like go inward and like literally just find like some sort of spiritual meaning or just find a way to work on this within yourself. Or it just put you in this like deep going within, going into like the darkness within yourself and dealing with all of those like deeper, darker feelings and emotions that came up for you to be like, oh, this is what I'll do to get back at them. Because there's like nothing that you could actually really do in the situation in like a fair way. It's like you literally had no choice but to just surrender to the circumstances that they had created or that they had put you in, like put you in some sort of like lack energy. So with the Taurus, they could have been like overly focused on like meeting their own needs to a fault, where then it affected you like negatively, or there's some sense of like selfishness here. It's like they were in that earth energy to a fault. Or with the Mercury too, it's like they could have been playing games with you, playing tricks with you, like leading you to believe that like eventually they would give you more and kind of like meet your needs, but then inevitably just like isolating you or leaving you out in the cold as soon as it like benefited them. And it's like there's nothing that you could do about it. You just had no choice but to let it be the way that it was. And it's like you couldn't go and like get any sort of revenge or anything like that. Instead, you just dug within yourself and address like where are these feelings of wanting to do something like that or react in that way coming from. And because you went inward and kind of like alchemized that negativity within yourself, it's like you had to be in this waiting period or just like surrendering and not being able to do anything to change it. So over time, like the tables are going to turn and things are going to flip, and spirit is going to work in the situation in order to like switch the power dynamics. And because I just heard that it's like this is you, like you had to kind of surrender to whatever was going on, but things are going to flip, and then this is going to become them. So whoever ghosted you, left you behind, like left you out, things are going to switch, and they're going to be the ones that's like hung up or caught up, led to based off of their own actions, and they're going to be the ones that are forced to like surrender to the circumstance and unable to like reach out to you or make a change in the situation. It's like they're going to have to just surrender to whatever's going on. It's like whatever you had to go through is like going to be then turned around and put on them. But it's not even purposeful from you, or you're not intending to do that to them. It's like you're just finding a way to free yourself energetically and move forward on your own. And just by you doing that, it's kind of like their worst nightmare to see you like moving on or something. And then that's going to put them back in that same energy of knowing that there's nothing that they can do about it. They can't reach out to you. They can't do anything to change it or fix it. It's like ultimately their own fault and their own actions that have led to then them feeling the way that they do, and they just have to surrender to it or just kind of like eat it, take it on the chin. It's like they're gonna know deep down that like they made you feel like this, or they did this to you, or they purposely like left you behind or left you out in the cold. And so it's like they have no right to come in and change things or to do anything about it or to try and reach out to you or to try and fix things, to try and make a difference in the situation. They will be in that same energy of feeling like they have no choice but to just surrender to the circumstances or to just let it be, or yeah, that there's like nothing that they can do about it regardless of how they feel or how uncomfortable it makes them. Wow. The Empress and the Six of Cups in the reverse. Like everything came out in the reverse. And so I feel like that is indicative to the fact that everything is going to flip. Like everything's going to be flipped on its head. Um, they're used to having control over you. They use like the past or nostalgia or like what you really want against you. Um, they're like purposely withholding, even though they have a lot more to offer, but then they capitalize on like your sensitivity, your emotions, your feelings. Like you could have had a soft spot for them, but then it's like they also had a soft spot for you. And they felt really secure with like keeping you in a certain position. in their lives, like having you in that state of feeling like there's nothing that you can do to change it, and so you just have to stay stuck. um that was like benefiting them for a time period here. They were able to like capitalize on the affinity or the affection that you have, the nostalgia that you have, like the love that you had for them, or the idea that you had of like your guys' future, or like how they were able to kind of like breadcrumb you to think that like, oh, eventually things will change, or eventually they'll be able to give you what you want or meet your needs. So there may have been something in the past that had you believing that or thinking that, and they knew that they had that specific like sensitivity or like control over you. Or it's like whenever you guys were younger, they showed you something, but then like now they've kind of turned into someone else, and you always believed that they would like come back around and like be this person again, and they like really capitalized on that. It's like at a certain point they could have stepped into that role, or they could have fulfilled that or given you more, started to meet your needs, but instead they um got more out of like keeping you held down in this certain position in their life, or yeah, feeling like there's nothing you could do to change the situation, or you just had to accept whatever they would offer you at the time. So you stepping out of this and like moving forward for yourself is like bringing a lot of like, it's a really fertile time for you, to like meet new people, or to just like plant new seeds and manifest new abundance in your own life. And that's like really scary for them, because it's like you're starting a new story or like a new narrative. um with the Six of Wands in reverse, they don't feel like they're like winning, or they have possession over like what they really want, or they no longer have like control over you or have you like held down. They had you like secured in this like certain place. um and they knew you wouldn't like step outside of that to like explore anything like new or different. And now they don't feel like they're winning, or they don't feel secure in that. They feel like you have something like up your sleeve now. So they're very aware that the tables are starting to turn. It's like they can already feel this shift, and they're like panicking, or they're not responding to it super well already. So we're going to use the Garden of Lucid Daydreams Oracle to get more into. Oh, okay, one already fell out, so we'll just take that one. Oh, so we have 46 in the reverse. This is the same card from pile one that was on the bottom of the deck. So it's the same energy that I'm picking up too, of like they no longer have before. They're used to whatever they say. People would just take it in, believe them, follow after them. They had a lot of control over like the narrative or the way things like came across, again, like the way people took things in or perceived things. They could like kind of control the course or the direction that certain people went in based off of their input or their energy being put into the situation. And now they don't have that same sense of power over others, or maybe you specifically. um, so we have the six here. I think this is like an onion. um, I'm not sure what it actually is, but it seems like it's an onion, and I'm getting it's like there's many layers to the situation. Like it goes much deeper. Um, with this person, like you've really only scratched the surface as far as what their true intentions and how they could actually affect others, or like inflict some sort of pain or discomfort into others. I'm also getting this energy of like they kind of like plant down or root into people's lives, and then create this um, system with the roots. They create this like root system like in people's lives, to where it's like super hard to like get rid of them or remove their energy. Like they plant roots like almost underneath people, to where then they draw out or suck out like all the nutrients that other people need or that other people are taking in order to take more for themselves, or to like, so that's like a metaphor for like they kind of siphon other people's energy, like kind of like an energy vampire type of person, for their own benefit, for their own gains, in order to keep control over like the direction that people are going in. um so this power, this ability is being removed from them, right? They're in the process of kind of waking up to this realization that they don't have the same sense of control over others or over you. Like they don't have the same access to you that they did before. Even though they cut you off, you were still giving them energetic access to you. In turn, that was still giving them some of your energy, and then they were still able to control like how you moved in the direction, and how you how the direction that you went in and how you operated in your life. So just seeing you go in a different direction for yourself automatically shows them they no longer have that same sense of power and control over you. They're no longer able to get access to your energy in such a way that it holds you down, in such a way that you're not able to move forward for yourself in any way that you would like. So they're being very clearly shown that things are like switching up. So it's interesting that that just in itself is like karma for them, because that doesn't seem like a lot, because it's like you just naturally deserve that for yourself. But because they get off so much, or they rely so much for themselves to have access to like other people's energy in some way, they don't feel like whole and complete within themselves. For you to kind of like take your power back or steal your power and just like move forward or remove yourself and move on in the situation, it puts them in this space where now they like feel like they don't have enough, or they're all like, it completely throws their energy like helter kelter, and like throws them off and triggers them. And it just puts them in that same space that they were putting you in. And that is just kind of like, they feel as though they're going through like heavy karma. So it could be like really emotionally difficult for them to have to go through the same things they put other people through. It's like that saying, they don't like the taste of their own medicine. It makes it's really difficult for them to have to bear the taste of their own medicine here. Kind of funny. The key elements amplified. When you combine all the elements of nature into who you are, magic happens. Trust this lucky card to show you everything is in alignment to expand. Now is the time to embark on an incredible journey by merging your past, present, and future self as a multi-dimensional person. Cornucopia, prosperity. The earth is plentiful and is reminding you to trust money will flow. Enjoy the fruits of your labor by releasing any fear mindset that blocks abundance. Your value in yourself is your best currency. Get one more oracle card for you guys. And the luminous warrior and middle world. So I'm going to read those for you. The luminous warrior has no enemies in this world or the next. He is impeccable in word and deed. He focuses on his light rather than on what hides in the dark. Since he casts no shadow, he is radiant as the sun and can transform his most terrible enemies into his ally. His power comes not from the sword, but from speaking his truth at all costs. The luminous warrior reminds you it is important to focus on your power, wisdom, and beauty. Do not be seduced by what seems wrong with you or with the world. Remember that intention follows attention. So focus on your positive traits, feed your light with more light until you feel truly empowered. Then there will be little need for action as you resolve all situations from within. Are you being tempted by your emotions to follow your lower instincts? Are you being invited to enter into a quarrel with someone? Put your sword away. This is not the time for battle. Your enemy is not who you think it is. Do not act from a place of anger that will damage your relationships and hurt the ones you care for. Find the truth hiding in your heart that will affirm your instinct for peace rather than war. The middle world is the realm of day to day reality and the playground of the living. It is the present moment where everything is happening, yet the middle world is created by the future, not only the past, and it is a mirror of the invisible realms. When things are right in the middle world, heaven and earth support everything. When they are not right, heaven and earth must be brought into order as well. The middle world shows up when conditions are favorable to your undertaking. Do not hesitate, move forward as heaven and earth are smiling upon you. The time is right, so be expedient, be mindful of not being reckless. The world is your playground, and what would require great effort at any other time can be accomplished with ease right now. Do not try to correct in the earth what needs to be corrected in the heavens. The resources to support the change or endeavor you are considering are not readily available to you yet, so it is important to ask for help from the invisible realms, from helpers in the upper world, and for now, wait. So you could get some sort of unexpected help arriving just on time to kind of help guide you in the right direction. But this is really confirming this, like you're finally stepping out of this energy for yourself. It's like you no longer feel um, held down or trapped by another person. It's like if you are waiting, you're just waiting for the right timing or waiting for God's timing. It's no longer because this person is draining all of your energy and kind of stealing all of your power, right? Um, so, yeah, a huge balance is being created. It's also kind of fitting because I was picking up on like the metaphor of like they kind of go in the earth or they plant root systems underneath people in the earth in order to siphon out their energy. So they use the 3D, the earth realm, to control others a lot. And so the best way to bring a balance in the situation and to take your power back and to be able to navigate yourself forward in perfect timing is to call to the heavens, call to spirit, call above, meditate. Don't focus on like grounding yourself so much and more focus on like that air energy and how to connect the upper chakras to the divine in order to get that communication and start to correct things and balance things out again. Keep you back in your power. So yeah, that's all I have for pile two, with this little guy here. So, um, if you watch this far into the reading, I really, really appreciate it. Um, if you'd like a more personal reading, you can use the link in my description. But thank you. I hope you have a really great day. right, pile 3, we have this little cinnamon stone, and we're using the Ethereal Visions Tarot, the Luna edition. Real quick, we're going to use the 8th house deck to get some zodiac signs and some context into like what happened here. We have Neptune, the Hanged One. So it's like, I've just heard it's like it could, something, whatever happened here, it could have been like this for a long time. And for a long time, you kind of felt like there was nothing you could do to change the situation. Yeah, we have the Page of Water. So it's like there's an energy of like you were disconnected from something or someone from so long that you it's like you didn't even know how to go about like bringing things back together, or you just felt so detached from it at a certain point that you felt like there was nothing to do but just kind of like surrender to the way that it was, because like you didn't even know how to go about bringing these two things back together in the way that you wanted to at one time. So we have Neptune, kind of like a Pisces energy. It's like if you started to like think about this, or like how to go about this, it almost kind of like drove you crazy, because there was so many like unknown elements to it, or it's like it got deeper and deeper. So it's like you almost had to kind of avoid it. And we have the Page of Water, Water and Earth. So Pisces is definitely coming up. Capricorn, I'm hearing. So water and earth signs. Um, so it could be two water signs. Like you could be a water sign dealing with a water sign, or you could be a water sign with more earth placements. So you're like a little bit more level-headed and grounded, and the other person involved is more like in that Pisces energy. So it's like you just had no clue, or vice versa. You could be more in that Pisces energy, and the other person is more of like a grounded water sign. So it's like there was just a huge disconnect. It's like you not knowing how to um, communicate with each other, not even really knowing how to see each other. You could have had like direct access to each other, been like right in each other's face, but there's just something to where it's like you didn't know how to actually connect or bring come together in a way. Ooh, so we have the moon. So yeah, it's like this could have spent a lot of time sitting around kind of contemplating the situation, looking up at the moon, like searching for answers here, trying to understand leaning on like your friends, people around you, let's say the sense of sisterhood or brotherhood around you in order to know how to kind of like navigate the situation. There's a lot in the dark here. There's a lot that's like not even really coming up. So we have the Two of Cups, so there could be a very strong desire to come together with someone, bring things together. So we were already picking up on that. And the Five of Pentacles, so it's like feeling like you can't, or you don't have enough, or you don't have what it takes. You don't have enough resources to be able to meet someone's needs or give them what they need. And the Sun in the reverse. It's more of that like lack energy, feeling like you don't have enough, you don't have the resources, you're not going to make someone really happy. So this other person could be like a water sign that's more, has a lot of earth signs too, a lot of earth energy, like more grounded. If not, it's like that's their energy. The other person could be the one here that is, it's like they're an overthinker. And so instead of like taking action, they keep things in the dark. So even if they had a strong desire to come towards you here, it's like they wouldn't even know how to go about it. Um, they're very like out of balance within themselves. Or it's like the reason they weren't ever able to come towards you or to offer you something more serious here is because they like don't have the resources, or they don't even know how to, or how to go about it. um, there's something in their life that's like very out of alignment with their desires, or yeah, they just don't know how to like reach out and connect and like manifest the things that they would really like to have. So you, it's like you didn't necessarily know what was going on when you tried to like dig into it too much or think about it too much. You would like kind of go crazy, like it would drive you crazy. So you could have just been like, you just felt like it is what it is. You just had to surrender to it. It's like you don't really understand what's going on here, where they're at, why they do the things they do, why they don't do certain things, why they don't show up. It's like you don't know if it's like, do they not like you? Do they not have feelings for you? Do you not make them happy? But really, it's just like they feel like they don't have enough to offer you. They don't have enough to give you. They don't have what it takes. So they just kind of like leave you in the dark, or like leave you really confused. It's like everything they do translates in this really confusing way to you. Um, but yeah, it could be confusing to them too. It's like they don't even know how to like reach out and like pursue the things that they really want. Yeah. Oh my gosh. We got more of that type of like, they see a goal, but then there's all this like weird obstruction. Um, so they could be afraid to be vulnerable because they don't want to push other people away or to make other people, they could feel as though if they reach out and open up to others and offer some sort of truth in who they are and like show people who they really are, then people will see them as the boogeyman. People will be scared of them. If they feel like if they let people see what's going on underneath, see the parts that they don't show everyone else, they could keep certain parts of themselves kind of like locked away here, and they don't reveal themselves to anyone because they feel like if they were to open that up to someone, then people would just see their true nature and like judge them or see them as like a beast or something. Or like it just makes them vulnerable for people to like expect something from them or to want to like take advantage of them. It's like this energy where they keep some of their most vulnerable, secret, private, personal parts of themselves like really hidden or locked away. um they could have slightly showed you things, but it's like obscured, so that's where that energy of like it's just like drives you crazy. um so yeah, they could be like in the Pisces energy, like very mysterious or very like in like the underworld sometimes, or just in their own little world. But they have this fear that if they let others into that, if they show other people where they're at, what's going on with them, like their truth, who they truly are, their true nature, then people will see them as like a boogeyman or see them as this like negative thing. People won't see them in the same way. They'll be like afraid of them. Um, they feel like if they're vulnerable, then other people's reaction to their vulnerability will be, oh, I need to like protect myself from them. So that's why they do the things that they do. Um, they feel more secure just like keeping certain things to themselves, because then they feel like people aren't going to like take it and run with them or judge them, or yeah, if they uncover certain parts or reveal certain parts of themselves to just anyone, then yeah, they naturally think people will take their vulnerability and see them as like bad or wrong or like judge them in the same way that they judge themselves. So that's pretty sad. So we have this number 17 in the reverse, and this person's like smelling the roses, but it looks like they're revealing themselves, like they're like bending over to reveal themselves. They're really just like smelling the roses. But with this in the reverse, it's like this person doesn't want to be vulnerable, even if it's to do something to enjoy themselves or to like relax. Like they have their guard so high up, they don't even stop to smell the roses, because then it could put them in a vulnerable position where someone could see them in an unflattering way, or see them in their true light, or start to see through like their shield or mask they have up. um so yeah, they don't let anybody in to see. It's like, I'm with this rose, I instantly thought of like how Beast has like the rose up in its shelf or up in the thing, like the rose that is running out or whatever. It's like the most special, intimate parts of themselves are just like hidden deep away, never to be seen or experienced by anyone, really, not even themselves, which is kind of sad if you think about it. So I guess their karma is just that they don't ever get to experience like genuine connection. They don't ever get to experience the things that they want, because they're so afraid of people seeing them, that they don't ever get to like see anyone else and actually see their reaction and how they would handle things, or if someone would meet them in the middle or accept them for who they are. And so they automatically just kind of count themselves out and like don't let anyone in, or they put people through this like cycle of confusion and madness trying to get closer, and it's only getting you further away. And so that's really unfortunate for them and sad for them when you really think about it, because they're the ones that miss out on the experience. They're the ones that miss out on the connection. They're the ones that miss out on, getting to have or experience touch, like be around like the things that they would really like to have in their lives. So they're really denying themselves by not being like fully vulnerable and authentic. They're denying themselves like the full experience, um, denying other people the experience of connecting with them, but then, denying just the full embodied experience of what it is to have relationships and connections with others. Like they just don't go there in certain ways to put themselves out there in certain ways. And that is really unfortunate or a disservice because it's going to keep them in that energy of like lack or feeling like they don't have enough or they don't wouldn't make somebody really happy, because if they're in this energy they wouldn't, because there's nothing to really connect to or to latch onto or to grow from. So that could be why you're in this like cycle of just like madness or being just like so confused. And they may not even be aware that this is the issue or this is where they're coming from, this is what's happening. Yes, allow. The answer is yes. Free will can influence outcomes. Use your intuition and discernment. There may be layers of information unfolding. So if you have any question in regards to the situation, Spirit's giving you the answer of yes. Turn over a new leaf. Renew. A second chance is being given to transform yourself or the situation. Let the lessons of the past serve as a catalyst for a clean slate moving forward. So yeah, like knowing that this is where they're coming from and that they don't have intentions to like purposely be shady or hurt you is more of this kind of sad thing for themselves. Like having that understanding can help you know how to respond or to react to this person rather than just kind of like going crazy or feeling like they're crazy or they're insane. So yeah, you could be the one that's like a little bit more grounded in the situation, so you're able to like handle your emotions better than the other person, whereas they feel theirs in like a flood. um so yeah, there's something to where like one person's a little more grounded and one person's more like sensitive to a fault where they can get really emotionally carried away. That could be this other person. We have the sacrifice and the journey. So I'm going to read those for you. To sacrifice means to make sacred. The sacrifice is an offering of gratitude made from the heart, a feast of love prepared for spirit. In olden days, sacrifices sometimes involved rituals in which blood was offered to the gods. For example, in the Bible, Yahweh preferred Abel's sacrifice of Yahweh, Yahweh, Yahweh. I think that's what it is, Yahweh. However I pronounced it the first time was definitely wrong. Yahweh preferred Abel's sacrifice of one of his lambs to Cain's offering of vegetable and fruits. In Middle America, however, Quetzalcoatl, the Lord of the Dawn, came to teach that spirit preferred our songs and our prayers to the blood of humans or animals. The sacrifice asks you to offer to Spirit that which is most precious to you. Your offerings will be sanctified and returned tenfold. You will be elevated to the altar at which you have been praying and meet the divine at the table with the heavenly feast. You are a welcome guest in this banquet. Your heart is the only worthy offering you can bring. Life has been generous with you in so many ways. What is the one person or thing that you feel like you cannot live without? It's time to offer it all to Spirit so that it may unfold as it will. Do not cling to the old form or allow your sacrifice to weigh heavy upon you. You have sacrificed yourself in your dreams for far too long. Now is the time to rededicate yourself to your journey. When you make sacred, you open the doors to the infinite wealth. Do not delay. So this makes a lot of sense with the Hanged Man. This kind of speaks to a lot of that like sacrificing energy. Yeah, we don't have to do this to a fault. The journey is an invitation to step outside the boundaries of your life as you know it. The journey is not a holiday, it is a call to be a hermit and go on a pilgrimage into the unknown. There are no maps to the territory you will be exploring, no marked paths or road signs. The time to embark on a great journey is here. Do not linger in the port when distant shores are calling. Fearlessly draw your own navigational charts as you discover the route. When the time is right, it is now. You will be led true. Even when you are not sure of where you are going, it is the departure that is most important. If you miss the boat, a great opportunity will be lost and another ship may not arrive for a very long time. The journey is calling you, but the time is premature. Collecting postcards or fantasies of where you want to go may take over your focus and make you miss your destiny. Other things must be completed first, or you may still be attached to knowing the destination. Remember that the point of the journey is not the destination, it's who will become as you are transformed along the way. Do not confuse the inner and the outer journey. So, yeah. Um, That is all I have for pile 3. So this was a little bit more of a confusing one, but I think you're going through a little bit more of a confusing situation. So hopefully, since it's more of a general reading, if you click this pile, you could get something out of it. If you would like a more personal reading, you can click the link in my description. But if you watch this far into the reading, I really, really appreciate it. It means so much to me, and I hope you have a great day or night.